Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Eclipse Kitchen. Today is one of my all-time favorites when I'm in the mood for a morning staple for supper. My breakfast bowl is packed full of what you would find at a typical restaurant breakfast, all rolled into one delicious bowl of goodness. Okay, let's pull up the recipe and see what you'll need for this. Okay, first you'll need to scramble up half a dozen eggs. Wow. This is certainly packed full of protein. Just don't overcook the eggs. You really want to try to get pasture raised or free run eggs. The best way is getting them from a local farmer's market if you have one, or just look at the labels for free run or pasture raised. There's the potatoes. Don't peel them. That's where the fiber of the potatoes lay. If you've seen in the previous video, I talked about soaking the potatoes, getting much of the starches and the glyphosate stuff out of the potatoes. Let me do a quick rundown on how to do that. Believe me, this will make your potatoes a lot better and soak up the flavors more. So basically, you want to soak them for at least 3 hours, draining and replacing the cold water at each hour mark. You can do an extra hour soak or more if you think it needs it. Then you pour the potatoes into the cheesecloth lined strainer and then squeeze as much of the water out as you can, and then you're ready to go. 2 cups of shredded cheese, or you can use more depending on your preference, but at least 2 cups. I suggest when measuring cheese, a 1-inch chunk of brick cheese is about 1 cup of cheese. Bacon. Now, for me, I use the used veggie bacon because meat doesn't really agree with me, but it's about the same amount of bacon overall. Though what I use is about equivalent to half a package of bacon. You can do a full package of breakfast sausage instead, cutting them into slices and then cutting each slice in half. The 2 lengths of breakfast sausage is optional at this point. I personally like having both sausage and bacon. Just make sure to get bacon that is close to 50-50 as you can, because you don't want to have too fatty bacon. Yes, the first source of fat, unless you're using pork bacon. You only need about 2 to 3 tablespoons, or about a toonie size for us Canadians, or if you're in America, it's about the size of a silver dollar. You really only need just enough to lightly coat the pan so nothing sticks. I personally use avocado oil as it's a high heat oil as well as a hidden source of vitamin E. However, extra virgin olive oil works just as well, but you want to make sure that it's a good quality oil. For those who are on a budget, this will be a bit expensive, but a 1 liter, for me at least, lasts me a good couple of months to 3 months. So paying that price every other month or every 3 months is a good way to get a healthy oil into the household. Lastly is the grass-fed butter. The number 1 reason why grass-fed is nutrition. Number 2 is it melts a lot better than regular butter. And number 3 is it has more of a creamy texture. Spices are to your preference. You don't have to use chili powder in this meal, but it does help the flavor of the hash browns. The salt that you can use in this recipe are kosher sea salt or Himalayan sea salt. Both are really good, and the Himalayan sea salt contains trace minerals that the body can use. I know I have these veggies as optional. I want to make sure that those that want to have vegetables in their breakfast bowl can have them, but it's not really a must. Though it does help with making the meal more satisfying. And now onto the main portion of the show. Like that. Great. So, doing the refilm on breakfast bowl. Yeah, so just doing the eggs now. So much going on here. before I even do that, I want to get my yeast in. This is going to be a very interesting recipe. I do this recipe like once a month. Ugh. And our roommate's birthday, wondering what the heck is going on downstairs. Sorry. So there, that's number 4. And I do half a dozen eggs because it fits the breakfast bowl perfectly. And 6 for 6. That takes like 2 hits from these guys. So there goes the eggs. Alright. Now I have to wait for the hot water. Okay. So I got that. Eggs in. The eggs that I don't need back. Don't need them like I don't think. Now that is ready, and everything else is ready. So basically, got 1 pack of bacon chopped up, ready to go for me. And then I got celery. So 1 stick of celery, quarter green pepper, and a quarter the red onion. That's gonna be my vegetable stuff. Because I want my veggies. Okay, so just get my sink going before I start cooking. Always. I always have a sink going every time I cook. So yeah, this is gonna be I'm telling the bubbles to hurry up. Am I tired? Yes. Let's get off that. So let that fill up. Just gonna quickly get the eggs going because I'm sure that's all done. So kosher salt. I always have a jar of kosher salt, just a little bit. I don't want too much because I'm putting salt in with the hash browns, which are pretty well ready to get going here, so I'm just gonna quickly get my eggs made. So, with my eggs, I always like turmeric and mustard. Gives it a nice flavor. I like having this stew in its own spices. Oil. And I'll probably add the milk afterwards. Seems like I'm gonna have surprise eggs today. What I mean by surprise eggs, I mean there's like little bits of mustard clumped up in the eggs. That's right. Surprise eggs are always fun. Time to get little beads of hot spicy. Yeah, I'm just gonna got that ready for now. getting the cheese ready. I want to get this shredded, ready to go, and then I'll drain my potatoes. So I already have my cheesecloth lined sieve there. Got that ready. I'm just gonna shred this brick as fast as I can without shredding my finger. You always want to be careful when it comes to using a shredder. Can't tell you how many times I've gotten close calls with a box shredder. There we go. Aha. My butter, because right now I'm using my cheese plate here as a resting point for my butter, because I have nowhere else to put it other than on the sink, and I don't want to clean up that mess. So that goes there. I'll have more cheese. Alright. Okay. So that ready. This is the next piece. So I've already soaked the potatoes for 3 hours. They're still a little bit starchy, but I've gotten them as good as they'll get. So starchy as ever. So I always grab the 4 corners, try to put each 4 corner into the thing. And where's this, because I don't see it anymore. So it's a simple squeeze, and there's still lots of butter. And then what I do is I shake this to make sure everything goes to the bottom of the thing. So it's down. And then now I twist. And I twist, and I twist, and I twist. And then I squeeze, and then I twist. So yeah, this is how I do my hash browns. I like them nice, and I think it's a little full. That's a little too full for my taste. Wasn't paying attention. Okay, that's okay. That's enough. Wasn't paying attention to it, I think. Felt it a little too full, so. There's still quite a bit of that. Still quite a bit of water. I usually go until I can't. I either can't squeeze it anymore, which is kind of almost now, because I think I'm breaking the breaking the cheesecloth. That's right. Squeeze as much of the water out as you can. And I say as much as you can, because it does. I am actually breaking and squeezing the. Yeah, I think that's as much because I'm basically breaking the cheesecloth. Try to squeeze out as much of the as much of the liquid out as I can, and that's about as good as it's going to get. So that's ready. I just have to turn the pan now. Yay! So, in goes 2 tablespoons of oil. So, 1, 2. There we go. So put that on. I should put it on medium high. So I usually cook it on the 6 rather than on 5, but you can do it either way. You just have to wait for the oil to heat up. I got veggies all ready to go. I got meat stuff all ready to go. I mean, chopping this much of veg usually takes about 2-3 minutes. Maybe 5. Depends on how chopped up you want it. Well, for me, I got hay bacon, so for regular bacon, you just pop the whole slices in. You can chop it up if you want beforehand, and then just fry it up as normal without any oil or anything. Just gonna try to get this washed up so I don't have to worry about that later. So yeah, this is basically cook as I go along. So first goes the hash browns, and they usually take about 20 minutes or so. And depends on how you do them. If you do like country potatoes, I would suggest poking holes in the potato, throwing it in the microwave for 5 minutes on high, and then wait until it's cool, chop it up, let it soak for a little bit. Actually, no, not the 5 minutes, about 3 minutes. I'm thinking of it. 5 minutes, it's fully cooked. You still want it kind of crunchy. And then what you do is you throw them in cold water, let them soak a little bit, and then you take the cheesecloth, squeeze it out. Well, you chop it up first into like little cubes. Then you take it, or then you soak it, and then after that it's the cheesecloth and squeeze, and then pan fry. So I'm like putting my hand to gauge how hot it is. Because right now it's like hot, very, very deep into the pan, so I want the heat to be about here before I'll start doing the hash browns. That's basically ready. It's pretty dry already, so I got pretty well all the starch or all the water out of that. So make sure everything's cleaned up while I'm waiting for the pan to heat up. So yeah. So with the spices, it's to your guys' preference. I do like a little bit of spice in my food, so a little bit more flavor than what normally you do. For the hash browns, I definitely like putting the chili powder in there. It's kind of a nice substitute for pepper. Because I really don't like pepper, and the little dark flakes that are in here is I think it's the oregano. Yep, it's oregano. Oregano and garlic. It's one of the reasons why I like Clubhouse for their chili powder. It's not just dried and crushed chili peppers. It's got a little bit of garlic, a little bit of oregano. It's a nice blend to use for like a multitude of things. There we go. Just need to get my pan. So yeah, I'm making sure that my pan gets as much non-stick as I can at the wall. And this is one of the reasons why I like avocado oil. Because it doesn't disappear where you place it, like what all the other type of oils. Olive oil does the same thing as this, but are you nice and hot yet? Ooh, you're getting toasty. Chickens. Oh right, I need the. Now I know what I needed. Oh, yes, this one. was like, which one do I use? I think I need the rigid one. The rigid lifter to make sure that everything's all there. Oh, how about that? There's a hole right in the cloth itself, so just gotta see how wide I can make that hole. Actually cut it open. So that oil is nice and hot. So these are all soaked, ready to go. And there's my sticker, there goes the fridge. And then I just, come on, pop it in. There we go. Oh, I still have more. Yeah, get all of it in here. In the pan, there we go. So at this point, I take my sea salt and make sure that this is spread out as much as I can. Take the sea salt. I usually do like 1 or 2 pinches. That's right. Do just half a pinch more. There we go. There's the salt. Then I add my garlic because I like garlic, and I like a lot of garlic, so I don't mind much. This is just to help give the hash browns flavor. And yes, these two will make the hash browns turn yellow. Just don't mind that. And then I put my chili powder in. And then I basically quickly stir this around. This is not going to be like a huge amount of hash brown. I don't need a huge amount tonight. So what I do is I spread them out and then I flatten them into the bottom of the pan. Sometimes they'll want to pull away from you, but it'll start cooperating after a while. So yeah, still kind of wanting to pull away, so. I don't want to take it too of these guys. So I'm just gonna let it cook on one side until it's ready to flip over. So it's usually about 10, I usually go about 15 minutes for the hash brown on the one side and then 5 minutes on the other. Depends on how fast it cooks on the other side. Or even less. But usually it's about 20 minutes for this. Look at that, all my dishes are done for now until I am on to the next spot, so I'll wait to put that one away till later. And I get my, I thought where my messes are. Oh, I have one more dish. I'll wash that up in a second. But I want to make sure that I have everything all wiped up. This is me buttling while I'm waiting for supper to cook. And to buttle is to keep the kitchen and dining room clean. There we go. So, I actually don't really need the spices anymore. Well, yes I do. I need it for the veggies. But as you see, the Hash browns are kind of a yellowy color. That's perfectly normal. That's because of the mustard and turmeric. But this is kind of like my once a month breakfast for supper type meal. Everything's cooked in one pan. Everything's served in one giant bowl. So yeah, I use this bowl for my breakfast bowl. So that's kind of cool. So I just want to make sure that this is going to be sticking together. Yeah, you're going to be falling apart, aren't you? Mine got soaked out a little too much of the starch. That's right. Just have to let it do its thing. I mean, it's already separated from the pan, so just have to wait. Okay, let's get the nice crazy dots. I mean, thank God this is like the turmeric in here. But turmeric itself, if it's pure turmeric, it does have a little bit of a bite to it. Kind of why I like using turmeric. I like using the dry spices rather than just trying to get this one piece to. Oh, there we go. No more surprises. My eggs in there. I'll put a little bit of milk in there just to kind of cream it up a little bit. But yeah, this is going to take a little bit. I mean, it's already, if it can move in the pan like this without falling apart, it's just about ready. So it depends on how much hash brown you do. Generally it takes about 20 minutes, or it may take a little shorter because I only have like one small potato worth of hash brown, so let's see. And it took me years to actually perfect how to do a pan flip. I can't do it like that all the time, but I do it pretty good. And see, that is basically, if you can see, it's got nice brown, light brown. That's kind of what you want. You don't have to cook these like till like really, really soft. It's like the more you cook them, the more they trigger your insulin. So potatoes are weird. Like they're really, really low on the glycemic index when it comes to eating them raw, but as soon as you start cooking them, that number just skyrockets. So that's why I tend to soak my potatoes. Like I'll shred them to do this. I'll soak them for 3 hours, exchanging the water every hour, or at every hour mark, to get as much of the built-in pesticides and the potato starch out of the potatoes as I can, and then I squeeze the remainder out of it. That way all you're left with is the fiber, the potassium, and that's about it. There's very little starch in these after they've been soaked. So what to do is, I still hear it kind of sizzling. That means it's still kind of cooking. But yeah, you won't be able to get absolutely every bit of starch out, but doing the soaking method will get a huge chunk of it out. And your body doesn't really need those starches anyways. So why have it in your food if you can just soak it out? And then just have the nutrient-dense food. Okay, so got that. Just waiting on this to finish up. Part one's basically almost ready. It doesn't take long to make this entire meal, and I will not turn that down this time around. I did the last time I did this, so it might take one, and things didn't cook right. So yeah, my hash brown bottom is done. I'm just positioning it. So that's positioned right. So next are my veggies. I'm going to add a little bit of water into the pan so I can steam my veggies. So that way it cooks them a little faster. Yeah, a little bit of water. There we go. Just a little bit more. And these are dry, or these are like fresh, so I'm gonna take a little bit to cook up. So I'm adding my mustard to this because why not? A little bit of turmeric. And I don't think I need these guys, do I? Oh. So that goes. And then I add my garlic because I love garlic and it's good for the heart. Very good for the heart. And then a little bit of chili. So I always like doing my vegetables first, or doing it second after the hash browns, so that they get nice and cooked. And then what I'll do is sometimes I'll take the vegetables out, put it into the bottom of the bowl, and then do the hay bacon with the butter. But other times I'll cook these till all the liquid's gone, and then I'll add in the hay bacon and a little bit of butter. Depends on my mood. But yeah, this is a very, very simple, very easy, straightforward recipe. So if you guys don't like having vegetables with your breakfast bowl, you don't have to do it. To me, this is kind of like a restaurant breakfast all separated. So you got the eggs and the veggies and the eggs and the veggies kind of remind me of the omelets that they usually make. So that's why I add my veggies, because it reminds me of that. So once those are cooked, I'll add that in. Oh, right, I need to put ketchup in this. I always put a little ketchup on the bottom, and then a little ketchup underneath the cheese, on top of the eggs before I put the cheese on. Because I like ketchup with my hash browns, I like ketchup with my eggs, so I just put it in that order. So that's ready. Just have to wait for this guy. But yeah, I like my seaming my vegetables. It helps them cook a little faster. But yeah, the green pepper is starting to go to that really, really bright green color. So if you guys like your steamed vegetables, you want to actually doing really good with my chopsticks. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's really, you want to go to like maybe a little brighter than that, but it's the same with cooking fiddleheads. Like if they go with like a really bright color, then it's like time to drain them, rinse them out, throw them back in the water for like another 10 minutes. But yeah, these guys, it shouldn't take that long to steam up these veg. And I kind of like them a little bit al dente, so just watching the food. I think that smells great. I can't wait to have this. I have this at the beginning of the month rather than like in the middle or after, or the later portion, because by the time the month starts for me, I know that I'm low on potassium, so I need my potatoes. I can also have like bananas too to get potassium, but for diabetics it's not really it's better to get the bananas like when they're just starting to yellow. That's when it's the lowest amount of sugar, but they're ripe. So they're a little bit tart when you have them that way, but yeah, it's 1/2 dozen or the other. It's either you have high spike because they're fully ripened, or you have a low spike, have a little bit of a tart banana, and you get your potassium. So there's 2 methods to get potassium. And for vitamin D, well, going outside, having fresh air for an hour, that's usually a good way of getting your vitamin D. And if you aren't in the climate that allows you to do that, I usually take, well for me, I usually take about 5,000 units of vitamin D3, which is kind of half of what you're supposed to get per day. Usually it's about 10,000 units, and anything above 40,000 is when you start getting poisoned. I know some papers say, oh yeah, if you go over 10,000, no. 10,000 is where you want to be. It's like right where you have this perfect equilibrium of how much vitamin D you lose and how much you gain. So right now my teeter-totter is kind of like this, where I'm taking half of what I should be, but for my body it's doing all right with that. That's getting there. The onions are starting to get translucent. Grab a green pepper. If I can put a chopstick through, that usually means that it's ready. If I can get a chopstick through. Let's find one that I can actually. There we go. Oh yeah, this is. See, steaming definitely cooks them faster. And they're still kind of crunchy, which is good. They're soft and crunchy at the same time, so that's kind of what you want with this. The celery is going to be very, very crunchy because it's all fiber. It's fiber and water with celery. So with that, I'm going to toss in my hay bacon. At this point, if you're doing like regular bacon, you take the vegetables out, either put it into a separate bowl, and then do your bacon up to however you like it. You could also do like breakfast sausage instead of the bacon. But I kind of like a mix, but this time around I'm just doing the hay bacon. So what I'm going to do, like I did the last time, so I take my butter and then I do like a little bit of a circle just to get some, and then I break off a piece. So about like that. And then I put it in the center of the bowl. That way, this cooks in butter. So you're getting your vitamin, I think it's K2 with grass-fed butter, so you're getting that added bit of goodness to your body. So avocado oil contains vitamin E. For those that don't really know about it, it's the same as avocados. They are very good for you. They contain the omega-3s, omega-3 and omega-9. So they're really good for you. I just can't stand the taste of them. So I like their oil. I don't like the fruit. So it's a good substitute for me. So this around. I still need the chopsticks for the eggs. So like, I want to get rid of them, but I can't. So I'm just going to use the rubber scraper to make sure that they're put all around. Just make sure that the vegetables and the hay bacon for me, well, the bacon period is there. Give it a little bit of a toss. Again, I've done cooking for almost 20 years. That has actually been 20 years plus of cooking, so can't believe that. It's already 20 years. I started cooking when I was 10. I did full meals when I was 13, so that's a long time to learn how to do a proper pan flip and that sort of stuff. I will have to thank my grandmother for teaching me all these techniques and such. It's just taken me a really long time to actually be able to do pan flipping properly without stuff flying everywhere. Things want to stick to my rubber scraper. So, yeah, just hold that over there because I need to put it away over there. So, I'm waiting for my hay bacon to finish cooking. I don't think I need the oil, no. So the oil can go away because all I need is the little bit of butter that's there, which is about 2 tablespoons. It's just enough butter to cook the eggs in, that's it. Because once this is done, once this part is done, the eggs will go like super quick because the pan is like really hot. So, I think my next recipe I'm going to be doing film-wise is the piggies in a blanket, because that one is it's fairly easy, fairly quick too. Probably about 20 minutes or so. Well, 40 minutes if you include how long it takes to get an oven to 375. But yeah, it's like super easy. And then I usually do a side of broccoli and cauliflower because I like my veggies. As you can see, I like my veggies. In basically every meal that I do, I put my vegetables in it. Whether it's fresh cut vegetables or the frozen mixed vegetables, frozen peas, or the frozen broccoli and cauliflower. As long as I'm getting my vegetables, I'm happy. I'm really being good at this today. Usually I'm spilling all over, but guess it has to do with the big confidence. But yeah, sure, yeah. If I can get this one piece here. So it's already starting to brown up on the top. With mine, that's basically at the cooked part. And over here, this one here is at the, this one's basically ready to go. So, yeah, it's not going to take long. And the vegetables are almost done cooking, so. Kind of like having, when I had meat before, I always liked my bacon kind of half and half. So it's like a little bit crispy, a little bit soft. Kind of how I like them. So this is basically ready to go. It's how I kind of like it. So my veggies are going to be a little crunchy. Oh well. So I just pour that in. Get all of that there. Make sure that we're panned. I always like scraping it on underneath to make sure that there's nothing is going to spill onto the burner and cause a fire. So that's the last thing I want. So throw the remainder of the butter in. And that was basically, about quarter cup? No, less than a quarter, an eighth a cup. So, just make sure that the butter covers the pan. Grass-fed, I find grass-fed doesn't burn as fast as like regular butter. Like, this stuff will brown up as fast. Which is good, because it's going to give me all the nutrition that I need for this. This is going to give everything that my body needs except for vitamin C. That's why I like eggs. So throw my eggs in to the butter. To make sure that I get every morsel of my eggs. Yes. Okay, that's good enough. So, that, the eggs are already starting to cook. And I usually leave it for a little bit just till it starts really cooking, and then I'll start breaking it up. And me washing my dishes as I go along. Saves time in the end. If you like to eat, you gotta like to learn to do the dishes. That's one of my grandmother's rules, is one that I've certainly lived by almost every day. I like eating, I hate cleaning, but if I like eating, I have to learn to like cleaning. So now it's starting to the thing. Now, this is why I use chopsticks for this part. Because I can break it into like long tins. And with the oil, the avocado oil on the pan still, I don't have to worry about it sticking. And professionals would say that this is cooked. Internal temperature wise, sure, but I like mine a little bit more cooked. I like it where it's not liquid. The only time I ever have mine my eggs over easy is when I'm pan frying them, pan frying them. I always do mine over easy because, well, A, it's quick, B, it doesn't overcook the eggs, so I only go till like there's no liquid, like where it's not slimy, then they're done. So this is like really quick. I suppose you could do like sunny side up eggs, like do them over easy and then pour them onto, or put them onto the bowl as is. And it's more fun that way, but I like scrambled eggs, so these are just about ready. So yeah, eggs, you don't want to cook them too much because there's a lot of good nutrition in them that pretty well die off in extreme temperatures. As soon as they're like this, they're done. This is like the quick way of getting eggs done. Oh, I forgot about oh well. Usually I put milk in with my eggs, but I forgot. Oh well. It is an optional thing, you don't have to. Just like you don't have to put salt in it. You can use soy sauce as your sodium. There we go. So there's that. Gotta let that cool a little bit. And now my cheese. So basically I'm going to try and put, I think I did about 2 cups, so should have enough to cover this and cover it well. Did I have thick enough, or do I have my cheese thick enough? Not sure. There's this neat little thing that happens when you put like enough cheese over top of the eggs. Oh crap! I forgot the. Oh well, I'll put the ketchup on top later once this is melted. But what you want to do, if you get the cheese layer thick enough, is you want to press down so it kind of makes its own little seal. And what will happen is the cheese underneath, especially if you have your eggs like pretty, you still have them pretty fresh, like not fully cooked, like still a little bit wet. What it'll do is it'll create this little bit of cheese whiz type stuff underneath. So you have like the stringy cheese on top, and then right underneath would be the like cheese whiz type stuff. It's really neat and kind of awesome when you take your fork into it. It's like, oh look, you got a little bit of cheese whiz. I mean, that's basically what that stuff is just like cheese spread is just real. Cheese spread is melted cheese that's been, or it's cheese that has been melted over and over to the point where it loses cohesion or loses the bonds that makes it stringy. So I like cheese spread. I don't like cheese whiz because it doesn't taste right to me. Like, it tastes like cheese, but it's not cheese. Like, my tongue knows what cheese tastes like. It's like, it's not cheese. I'm like, I know it's not cheese. But yeah, I'm just letting that kinda, it's already starting to melt on top, so it means I got the eggs on, or the cheese on just at the right time. So yeah, I'm just washing up my dishes as part of cooking. It's not so much making the food, it's the cleaning up part. It's part of cooking as well. So, yeah, that's melting fast. I think I might actually want to add a little bit more than 2 cups. I'll know for next time. So yeah, if you guys make this and you see that it needs more cheese, add more cheese. Don't be afraid to add things and make these recipes your own. But basically, that is the breakfast bowl. It's still kind of melting, but over time, that'll be completely melted. So yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it for making this meal. Hope it was somewhat enjoyable and educational. Look forward to the next episode of Eclipse Kitchen. Here's where you could find me and my counterpart. Follow us on Twitter and join our Facebook group where you'll get regular updates on what's going on. Subscribe to this channel and our main channel to see all the wonderful content we'll bring to you. And last but not least, become a Patreon and donate to our coffee to show your support for more content like this and more. You all have a great day.